this is the third and last game on the first day of the tournament. This game is against Dwarves, and as you saw on the introduction, Dwarves with a comp score of 6. So they have been allowed a new book, they have plenty of tricks. However, my opponent decided to take only 2 cannons, no flying things, and big blocks of units, so he must have a lot of magic items. Again, the lists are close, so I don't know what he has to start with, but I know he's got a BSB, he's got a Lord, he's got a Runesmith, and he's got a few more characters this and there. So here it goes. Oh, apologies, I did not get any pictures from deployment, so we'll go straight into the game. My opponent won the deployment or setup and chooses battle line. I have the Fey Enchantress on the table, and as Bretonnian I am allowed to go first turn thanks to her, and I win the roll, so Bretonnia goes first. So for secret mission on this game, clearly the dwarves are not very mobile and fast. I am fast and plan to move my units over there at some extent. So I choose secret mission 5, Gauntlet. Have more non-flying units than your opponents in their deployment zone. However, you will see during the course of the game, this mission doesn't go as planned. Yeah, basically I cannot screw up, but you'll see. So for the sake of the deployment, let's pretend the game hasn't started. On the left hand side I've got my unit of 8 questing knights with a questing vow paladin. He's got a morning star. Next to them is my lance of 9 knight errants with a damsel level 1 of life, full command. Then closer to us next to them is my lance of 9 knight of the realm with the Fey Enchantress, the BSB, and my second paladin character with a morning star and the hairy killing blow virtue. Then on the hill you've got a trebuchet, and in front of the trebuchet, still on the hill, to be able to shoot over the forest, is my unit of 10 archers with a damsel level 1 of beast. At the bottom of the screen there is my last trebuchet, and in front of the trebuchet, in the corner there, you can see a clipped model or a horse bottom, is my unit of 6 knight of the realm, knight errant, full command. And last but not least, next to the knight errant are my Pegasus Knights, who do not appear on this picture, and you'll see why in a second. My opponent's setup is fairly standard for dwarves, and oh, by the way, you can see the Peg Knights at the top right there on the white sheet. Basically they just moved up, so they started just before the march there. On the top left of the screen was a unit of gazillion dwarf warriors with great weapons, whom he deployed in a 2-rank line on the battlefield. I guess he was worried of my attribution. Right of them is his Lord unit of nasty dwarfs. I'm not sure which one. Sorry, but I'm not sure which one. Which one are these? Maybe they're Longbeards. I believe they were Longbeards. In the tower there is a unit of dwarf rangers, 10 of them. Behind the tower is his first cannon. Right of the tower is another unit of Gazian dwarf warriors who are also deployed on a 2-rank across the line there to avoid maximizing hits from the trebuchet. And behind them, in fact on this picture behind what you will see it's been charged by my Pegasus Knight, is his second cannon. His characters are his Lord on the Longbeards in the middle block of squared block there. He's got a Runesmith on the leftmost unit, and he's got a character on the rightmost unit. We both have the same comp score of 6, so we have straight rolls for going first, and Bretonnia win. We have a few Vanguard moves, and these are what they are. So I move up my Pegasus Knights towards the cannon line, straight up the table, and he gets to deploy his scouts top left of the screen there. He got a unit of 10 rangers just behind the tower. Bretonnia turn 1. I move the questing knights in such a way that they are covering my flank, and his ranger will have to go through them. I expect him to go straight into the tower, so that's why I put them there. Plus I have the option with my character in the unit to charge with a single character. The rule pack of the tournament allows the character to charge from what the first rank of the unit can see, so it gives me a little bit of, let's say, opportunity for charging there. My lances of Knight Errant and Knight of the Realm with my characters move forward, basically trying to put the Fey Enchantress 24 inches away from his unit to do some nasty magic. And as mentioned before, the Pegasus Knights, which moved forward during their Vagan move over the Dwarf Warriors, straight between the tower and the cannon. My unit of 6 Knight Errants move up straight there. There is a gap there between the Lord unit, the tower, to charge the second cannon, so I'm taking the opportunity. Here's a closer look at my pivoting and reforming the Questing Knights. So magic was going to be a bit of a challenge in this game, but with the spell I've got to make it work. So I use a chalice, thinking I'm going to use some of these dispel dice, and I get chain lightning, so the chalice is off for the rest of the game, and he scrolls it. He dispels Throne of Vines. I do cast Flesh to Stone on the Fey Enchantress, and I'm trying to cast Wisdom Wild Form on a small unit of Knight Errant. I miscast with 3 dice, roll 7, and fortunately only lose 1 bowman. Shooting phase, first trebuchet fails to hit anything, the second one misfires and explodes, so not very good for me. Not a good start at all. The archers try to shoot at one of the units, but with the range, the forest, I need 6s and I don't roll in. And yes, that's the sight of a dead trebuchet crew. Dwarf turn 1. His rightmost unit of warriors there behind the tower reform to face the Pegasus Knight. His other units cannot shuffle. In fact, his block with the Lord reforms to spread out, so he blocks my my corridor there for the Knight of the Realm to go into the second Grudge Thrower. On the left side, the Rangers go into the tower, and shooting phase, so I guess I was unlucky, but you're gonna see my opponent was having even worse luck. He shoots his first Grudge Thrower and misfires. He's got this rune that allows him to reroll, or the engineer, I'm not sure, but he misfires again. That's terrible. And the poor crew takes a wound for their trouble. The Rangers in the tower shoot at the pegs, but cause no wound. He then gets the Runesmith is the unit of warrior that just behind the Peg Knights has a flame template attack, and cunningly uses it so it doesn't touch his Grudge Thrower, but causes no wound, unfortunately. He then proceeds to fire the second Grudge Thrower and misfires again. He's got the same thing, he can reroll. He hits on the Fey, but he rolls a 1, so he causes no wound. And that's very, very unfortunate for the Dwarves. I believe I don't have record of it, but I believe the other Rangers shoot at the Questing Knights but don't do anything. Bretonnia turn 2. In hindsight, I shouldn't have charged the whole lance, but that's what I did. So I charged the Questing Knight into the tower where the 10 Rangers just moved in. The Pegasus Knight charged the Grudge Thrower, which they had in front of them, clearly, and the Knight Errant just chose to charge in the rear, in the backside, yes, the backside of that big unit of warrior dwarves. My idea is that at least I'll hold them up for a turn, if not, a bit lucky for 2, so they don't charge the Pegasus Knight. I wasn't sure if he had some weird tricks to get a super long charge, and I didn't want to leave my my Fey Enchantress, my general unit basically, vulnerable, so I moved up my Knight Errants a bit forward. In the magic phase, I cast Throne of Vines. I then proceed to cast Dwellers, and he uses a scroll, the special item. If he rolls a 4+, I lose the spell, and he does, so Turn 2, I lose my dwellers below, which I guess even the odds. Nothing interesting happens in my shooting phase. And in combat, as expected, the Pegasus Knights destroyed the Grudge Thrower. And the Knight Errant lose 2 knights, but win. However, the dwarves are steadfast, and they have 10 leadership, so they stay. The Peg Knight reforms to face the second Grudge Thrower or anything of his army, really. The Dwarf Warriors reform to face the Knight Errants, and they're not gonna like it. I mean, the Knight Errants not gonna like it. Questy Knights win by 4, but the Rangers are stubborn and they stick. So the Questy Knight bounce away 1 inch away from the tower. Dwarf turn 2 is block with the Lord moves closer to my lances, and his big unit of warriors that shuffles a little bit and goes towards my guys as well. In his magic phase he dispels Throne of Vines, and then in the shooting phase the Rangers facing the Questy Knights get 2 hits but cause no wound. The Rangers facing the Pegs there, who turn to face the Pegs, shoot at them and get 1 wound through. The Knight Errant combats with the warriors. The Knight Errant lands, or what's left of it, kill 3 warriors. The warrior unit, which turned around at the end of the last turn combat, proceed to kill 3 models of the lands. And above and beyond any expectations, the remaining model of the unit sticks around, so that big block of warriors is stuck in combat for 1 more turn, and I'll take that. Bretonnia turn 3, the Pegasus Knights charge the second Grudge Thrower. Again, with downside, I shouldn't have done that, but I did charge again the Questy Knights into the tower. And then here, I don't know, it was the end of the day, I was tired, I was overwhelmed by the event and the games and the twins, and the game was going pretty well in my side. I felt terribly for my opponent who was going to lose his last big threat to my army, and I completely zapped. So for some reason I assume my secret mission was to keep my general alive. And if you've seen my previous game, that's not the case, because I used that mission in the previous game. So I decide to march the Fair Enchantress on a unicorn, which has movement of 10, away from any threats. So I move it behind that building there, which is counting as impassable terrain. She's away from any ranger attack and out of sight of any cannon, just in case, you know, my Pegasus miraculously would die to his Grudge Thrower crew. So stupidly losing 100 points and voiding as well the mission that I did play. We had to commit to the mission at the start of the game. So it's a shame, because that one I'm sure I could have made it, because it's highly unlikely he would have had more units than I have in the opponent's zone. And by that I mean deployment zone. I felt so dumb at the end of the game when he counted the points. Anyway. In the magic phase, I get Wisdom Wild Form from the level 1 with the archers on the Knight of the Realm, and I cast Flesh to Stone on the same unit. In combat, the Questy Knight lose 1 model but kill all the Rangers. The last of the Knight Errant dies or succumbs to the sheer number of attacks from the warriors, which reform there behind the tower to face the Pegasus Knight. And unfortunately, the Pegasus Knight only causes a wound to the crew of the Grudge Thrower. Dwarf turn 3, he charges the Pegasus Knight in the flank with his warriors there, and then moves his unit of warriors and his block of Longbeards with the Lord forward towards my lances. His last unit of rangers has nothing to shoot at. We go into combat directly. In combat, the Peg Knights with higher initiative succeed in killing the last crew members of the Grudge Thrower, which is great. That means I basically remove all the threats of this army towards mine, and I'm in a situation here where I know I can win the game. But yeah, well, we'll talk about this next turn. The warriors then hit the Pegasus Knights cause 4 wounds, the warriors win by 4 with a combat res, and the peg flee off the board. So we are at the bottom of turn 3, and I have the certitude I can, he cannot hit me if I don't want him to. I removed all his threats. The only thing I need to do is shoot him, magic him down, feed him chaff, attack him, setting him up from the side or the flank. But you know what? Yeah, terrible game. The dice was crap, and with the knowledge there where I know if I play like a douchebag I can win, or I know which actions I need to do to win the game in a very high competitive environment, like a tournament is, but I'm here to have fun, I'm here to have good games, I'm not here to be a douchebag. So this is without any regrets that I decide to carry on playing the game and not deny the game to my opponent. And so we have a game for the last 3 turns as opposed to me really denying anything from him. So this is what happens. I hope you enjoy it. I am fully aware, I'm not boasting or anything. This is not me saying, well, I made a mistake and trying to hide it. No, I knew exactly that I had 2 choices to make. At this stage, I was fully aware of it, and I chose the following. Bretonnia turn 4, and I decide, you know what, let's have a good game. So I charge both lances into the unit of warriors there. Some players would never do that and would run away for the remaining of the game, probably trying to get pot shots and everything and definitely get a win. I prefer to have a good game, and yeah, some guys in the club really didn't like it, but you know what? I'm very happy of my actions and I live with it, and I sleep better at night, and there you go. In the magic phase, I get Throne of Vine off, try to cast Whistled Wild Form on a Knight of the Realm, but get another miscast with my level 1 of Beast, and she loses her level and her spell. I then get Flesh to Stone on the Knight of the Realm. In the shooting phase, my Trebuchet fails to hit the unit of warrior there behind the tower, and my archers do not cause any wound to the Lord unit. In combat, the Knight of the Realm and the Knight Errant cause 10 wounds to the warriors, which is pretty cool. As you can see, a lot of models gone. They, in return, cause 3 wounds only to the Knight Errant unit. We win combat, but he's stubborn. He's got a special banner that makes all his units in a certain range stubborn, and sticks. He's stubborn on a 10, so good luck breaking that. The heroic Bretonnians forcing the impending doom charge from the flank from his Lord unit. I reform, combat reform, and it's a valid one. I reform like so, so if he charges me, he has to charge 1 model on the flank there. The idea being that I can then make way with one of my characters to attack one of this unit. And by one of these units, I mean his Lord unit. In instant 4, the Dwarf player charges his Lord into the flank of my Knight of the Realm. He is not afraid of this impending doom from these lances and these bodied war horses. And to be honest, the way it's geared up, he shouldn't have any problem. He shouldn't be afraid at all. His unit of warriors move as fast as they can and get a few inches forward. So in combat phase, unfortunately, I was expecting his warrior unit to be a bit more weakened than that and free one of my characters, not to be, so he wouldn't be in base contact, and therefore he could make way to the Lord unit. That's not the case. I do, however, use my paladin to declare a challenge, but he accepts with a non-Lord unit. The combat is pretty cool. The dice are even both sides. I kill 5 of his warriors. He kills 2 of my Knight Errants and 3 of my Knight of the Realm. He wins by 2 with a charge and a flank, but thanks to the BSB reroll, I passed with break test on a 7. That was a really cool turn of combat, and there's more to come. Bretonnia turn 5. The questing knight decides to charge the lord and his very hairy unit of longbeards. And this is quite a long charge, and it's great when you get moments like that, especially in tournaments. The questing knight make it, and that's 5 questing knights plus another paladin there into the combat. In the magic phase, the enchantress gets flesh to stone and shield of thorns on the knight of the realm. Nothing happens in the shooting, and in combat we lose 3 models in total from Bretonnia's side. We kill a few from his lord unit on the back there with all the questing knight attacks. Bretonnia win by 3, but of course with a stubborn 10, the Dwarves stick for another great and glorious round of combat. This was really cool. I really enjoyed playing with my opponent. We both had great fun. The dice rolls were okay, it wasn't one-sided, and it was great. Dwarfs turn 5 is non-active unit of warriors, cleverly reformed, so he gets rank bonuses if he gets into the combat. He then moves it a bit closer to the action. Into combat, the Hairy Killing Blow Paladin declares a challenge onto the Lord. The Lord accepts the challenge. What the hell, said my opponent, with a big smile on his face. And he should have a big smile, because the Lord is extremely hard to kill. I do not roll the magic 6 for Hairy Killing Blow. And suddenly, because I get toughness 6, he gets something like strength 10. So he crushes my paladin to a pulp and the horse below him. But he's get no overkill. In the end, I think we either get a draw or a win, and he sticks around. So close to get the Lord with Hairy Killing Blow, so close. The Knight of the Realm unfortunately gets destroyed completely by the Lord unit, and the questing knights, I believe, failed the break test. Oh, scratch that. No, what happens really is that we lose combat by not much, I think by 2. Yeah, we do lose combat. The Knight of the Realm flee. That's the 3 knights with red lances there at the bottom right of the screen. They will reform next turn. The knight errant, the knight errant with the damsel, stick and roll a 6, as you see on the screen there. The questing knights stick around, but the Lord unit reforms after the combat to face them. So party time next turn for the questing knights. Bretonnia turn 6, so the fleeing knight errants rally, and they reform where they stood there in the previous picture. In the shooting phase, I get a direct hit with a trebuchet and cause a few wounds on that unit of warriors there. In fact, it was pretty good. I think I halved it. Not enough, however, to break them or get the points. In combat, the combat with knight errants with against the warriors, the knight errant lands, or the knight errant with the damsel, stick around. I think the damsel passed her wall save against the wound caused by the dwarves. The questing knight lose a guy. They don't have enough rank. They lose the combat, and I roll a 12. So BSB being gone, I run away. And would you believe it? I think I rolled terribly on my fleeing roll, and I get run down by a dwarf lord on a shield carried by stunties and his retinue of long-bearded dwarves. Oh well, no, it was a really fun game. It was really fun combat. Really enjoyed it. Did I say I really enjoyed it? Because I really did. And with all the emotion, the time running out, and the game being the game where it was awesome, I forgot to take the last picture. The dwarf turn 6. What happens is the lord rushes through the archer unit, and I give him, because there's no point to waste time on this. The warriors then hit the damsel. She takes a wound. I think he kills the unit. Regardless, in the end, very happy of the game. It was great 3 turns of very intense combat, so a lot of back and throws. He could have turned my side. He had the tools, he had the skills, so you shouldn't have to worry much. But you never know. 1-6 on Hurricane Blow Paladin, and the Lord goes bye-bye. So it was very cool. I just wanted to see how it went. Spending 3 turns running around the table, trying to avoid these units and just pew him. That's not why I play this game for. I'm not that kind of guy. I didn't want to have a bad game. I didn't want to go ahead. Another consideration I had on the spot, and I was very happy to have that clarity of mind, is we were on table 10, so I win here, I go most likely high again on tables, and then the rest of my game is going to be against the very experienced, very tough players and lists. So in hindsight, I'm very happy I did the choice I did. On the spot, I was very happy of the choice I did. So for me, it was, I know it's a paradox, but it was a win-win situation, having lost that game, but having had so much fun. My opponents was really cool. Really appreciated the fact I gave him a game, not just played like a douchebag, and that was a thumbs up. So get a pint for it. Hey, good things come to those who do good deeds, I guess. So in the end, and with the last round debacle and all the units being caught up and charging, my opponents win with 1,912 points, and I get 543. Of course, I screwed up on my mission, so I do not get it. He gets his. He gets mission 4, which was King of the Castle. Have more building garrison than your opponent, so he had 1, I had none. So there you go. Really cool game. Really enjoyed it. I know some of you may say, why didn't you just win for winning? Winning for winning sucks. The whole thing is about enjoying what you do. It's a game, so just try to think outside of winning, and sometimes you get games like this which are awesome even when you lose. So there you go. Hope you enjoy. As always, leave a comment below. Do what you say what you want. I really enjoy the game, so if you say something nasty, I don't really care. So on to next battle report. Oh yeah, I was absolutely exhausted after the day. I won 2 games, lost one. Lost one knowing that I could have won it, exactly if I played in a place that I don't like, but at the moment I knew the choices I had to make, so I was elated. First South Coast GT, almost, I could have get 3 wins straight, but I get away with 2 and a loss. Looking forward to the next day, pretty cool. Next day I was gonna face Warriors of Chaos on my first game, and it's a peculiar list. It's one that was mentioned in the Bad Dice podcast. It's the Warriors of Chaos with 3 chimeras in there, so quite interesting, quite a challenge for me, 3 chimeras, but I had ideas. I knew I had to go put on my good behavior, and see you next battle report.